actually am a friend of Marc Katz's since childhood. His parents had a restaurant next door to my parents' store for about 20 years. So we kind of grew up together, and then we both kind of came to Austin around the same time. I was a musician, and he was a salesman, and basically he's just done an awful lot for Austin over the last 30 years, and he's very much in favor of putting forth the kind of changes that the state needs as far as getting medical care to people who need it, health insurance for everybody, equal rights for gays and minorities and all other kinds of people, and he's the kind of change that Texas needs.
When I first decided to run for lieutenant governor, I decided that I better look at what the existing lieutenant governor does so I can figure out what to do. Well, judging by what I saw through the last 2 terms of the existing lieutenant governor, the lieutenant governor does nothing. And that can't be right. We are in a very, very critical situation. Our human rights are being violated. That's the first thing we have as Texans and Americans. We need a call to order here. This is now a war. I call for a war on taking away our rights. And we have 8 minorities in the state of Texas that will make a majority. You cannot tell me that 37% of that white bread Anglo that voted for Governor Perry, that got him elected, is the majority. The reason we get elected to the people, the reason we don't like or want or need the people that are in there now is because we don't vote. Sports fans, it's that simple. Show up at the poll, register, we will get what it belongs to us. I am the 2010 version of Rosa Parks. I'm tired of being in the back of the bus. I'm not moving, and I'm taking my friends with me. We're going right to equal rights for all of us. This has got to stop. Davey Dewhurst is very vulnerable. I ask anybody in this audience to offer me one quote after 2 terms that meant anything to you that David Dewhurst said. Anybody among all of us, give me one thing that's memorable that he said. For the records, nobody has an answer. Education is the answer to our economic and social issues. Our school system is segregated, make no mistake. We are failing economically because our school system does not work. We have the largest number of dropouts, high school dropouts, over 25 years old, percentage-wise and plurality-wise in the nation. Our college tuition is rising at a ridiculously high rate. Who does that affect? It doesn't affect Dewhurst and those 8% up there. They got the money. As a society, we need to improve our education. The first step in improving education, treat teachers like professionals. They handle our children all day long. We need to pay them an honest salary so that one person can support a family. A single mom who's a teacher or a single dad who's a teacher should be able to support his family.
Being an educator, it's really important that we not continue to have more unfunded mandates. When you look at what state funding was like in the 1980s compared to what state funding is now for education, it's relatively lower. I mean, substantially lower, almost 70% lower that the state government actually puts into funding for local districts. That leaves local districts having to build and create their own revenue for funding even basic things as in meeting the essential needs of students in their classrooms. The only way that they're able to raise funds is by raising local property tax. And there's only a certain amount that you can really do that before you have to have a bond election, or before your citizens are really up in arms because they have no more to give, even though they support public education.
We're wondering why our kids are not getting an education. We're wondering why the wealthy are sending their kids to private schools. We're wondering why we have such a high rate of detention in prison. If you can't read and you can't think because nobody industry. The immediate thing we need to do, which may not be about jobs, but it's about being a human being and a Texan. Do you know we're the slowest state in the nation to issue food stamps? And food stamps are paid for by the federal government. Directly, Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst put in a program that slowed up the issuing of food stamps. And I'm here to tell you, I'm ashamed that as a Texan, we have people walking around hungry. I can't wait to tell you, in honor of the blizzard of 2010, we have the Davey Dewhurst soup. It's a very flat, lukewarm Perrier water, artificially colored, good old boy wiener, soaking in it. The Davey soup. You already know the Davey sandwich, which is starched white bread stuffed with bologna. Now let's get down to politics.